Ladies and gentlemen, we do our best here to try to have conversations on the hot topics. Let's not run away from them. What it is, okay? But let's try to have a reasonable conversation away from the hyperbole. So, generally, our discussions around news channels is something wrong that has happened. Here's a conversation, and I'm going to begin it with this premise. Let's not forget the good that happened. 90% of the Lok Sabha election seats are now done. They've happened so far. Fingers crossed, whatever you believe in, ghee, shakkar, whatever you believe in. I don't want to jinx it, okay, for just the last phase of 50 odd seats left. That despite some sporadic incidents in Bengal, even in Bengal, is been largely peaceful. UP, no rioting, no cases of violence reported. Kerala, which used to see a lot of violence, election-related, poll-related, political violence, knocked off in the first few phases very calmly. So that's a good thing, something to celebrate. This is going to be the largest election in the history of the world. It's a good thing, something to celebrate. Now, here's another point I'm going to make, and I'm going to let you absorb it for just a second. No matter how toxic, vicious, polarized, ugly all sides get during an election cycle, not once has an accusation been made that here is this Muslim markaz, or I don't know, here is this Chishti shrine, here is this midwives, or here is this Maulana, heads of religious institutes, heads of mosques. Not once in this electoral cycle you heard any of the top leaders say that this Muslim person is actively campaigning against the BJP. You've not heard the BJP say this church leader is actively campaigning against us. These are things we don't do in elections in this country. And that's a good thing. It doesn't happen. Now, that doesn't mean the heads of religious institutions don't have political views. That doesn't mean the heads of religious institutions may not want to be influencing their flock or be giving them sermons which some people would think as influencing. That can happen. But it doesn't become part of the political slugfest. So here is the unfortunate situation in which it has become a part of the political slugfest. Ramakrishna Paramhans, who was the mentor, the guru of Swami Vivekananda, in whose name the Ramakrishna Mutt was first formulated out of Bengal, Kolkata, and then spread not only across India but all over the world, primarily does civic service. Now, it doesn't mean that the members of the mutt, that the monks, the priests can't vote. They can, they should. It doesn't mean that they can't suggest who should they vote for, but they're not inherently political people. Now, a few days ago, Mamata Banerjee made this speech. And since then, as you can see on your screens, she's been trying to backpedal, talk her way out of it. And the speech was that here is a specific leader, she says, some monks, she says, who are actively campaigning for the BJP and against her in Bengal. And since then, the backpedal, no, I only meant to say this individual, I didn't really say about this particular group, I certainly did not say about the Ramakrishna Mission per se. But it's been 3 days of this. And here we are, where some sort of taboo has been broken, and it's been an unfortunate breaking of the taboo. Okay? Not a temple priest or a... Imagine if somebody came and said that the head of the Vaishno Devi shrine or the head of the Padmanabha Swami temple is acting politically against us. It doesn't happen. The head of the Ajmer Dargah is acting politically against us. I want you to note that in Indian politics, no matter how polarized it gets, it never happens. Even this never happens. until this has happened. Okay, let me not pretend to be a senior journalist beyond a point. This is my 4th general election. Okay, never once have I seen members of the Ramakrishna Mission being accused of playing divisive, polarizing politics until now. So let's open up this conversation. Rahul Ishwar joining us on the broadcast. Manasvi Thapar is with us. Rashmi Samant joining us on the broadcast as well. Now, Rahul Ishwar, I've tried to set it up because sometimes we forget, and it is a national reminder that no matter how ugly our politics gets, and yes, it can get toxic, a lot of people talk too much, yes, it can get polarizing, yes, there is Hindu-Muslim that happens within it, okay? But never once has any senior political leader said this Mirwais, this Maulana, this cardinal, this bishop, or this head of a temple, this head of this temple trust is actively playing politics. It's never happened. What do you think that Mamata Banerjee has jumped into this with the Ramakrishna Mission, and why?
2 points. One, this is very unfortunate because Ramakrishna Mission, as we know, Swami Vivekananda's legacy, as we know, is one that showcased India in front of the whole world. Very pluralistic, harmonious, reaching out to all communities, acceptable to all communities and world. And it is unfortunate Srimati Mamata Banerjee has taken aim at a senior monk in the Ramakrishna Mission, has accused him of so many things. It is very unfortunate. See, 2 submissions are always there. One, saints are also human beings and citizens. They will have an opinion on policy or something that is followed by a particular government or so. But we always take respect and we always keep our saints or Maulanas or senior church members out of any kind of vitriol that is happening between political debates. And Mamata Banerjee can perfectly act Narendra Modi ji. Narendra Modi ji may attack back. They can attack other party leaders. But we have always kept a respectful attitude towards all the sons, seers and sadhus. It is very of every community, of fakirs of every community. It is unfortunate that a very senior politician like Srimati Mamata Banerjee has jumped on to which Mamata Banerjee, as we know, has more or less sway over the 27% plus Muslim vote bank that is in West Bengal. So when she is doing this, people will definitely be apprehensive, will be doubtful of what she is doing. I hope she could have restrained from dragging in a senior sadhu kind of a figure into a political debate, and she should have refrained, even if they criticize or even when some comments are there. For example, Shankaracharyas, many of the Shankaracharyas criticize the Ram Mandir. I am beyond politics. I was very appreciative of how BJP took it in a positive sense, because we don't usually attack Shankaracharyas. They may agree with us, they may disagree with us, but Shankaracharyas are the spiritual heads. Ramakrishna Mission is the common cultural heritage of India. He is the Bengali sadhu who made India a Vishwaguru. So I believe that was very unfortunate. She should have pedaled back. She should have absolutely apologized, and she should not have dragged such kind of holy figures into a political debate and dragged them into the level of political haywire.
Okay, so the unfortunate situation now is, ladies and gentlemen, that literally in the past 18 hours, we've actually had monks who are otherwise sadhus, who are otherwise not politicians. There are certain monks who, of course, join politics. Yogi Adityanath is one of them. He is a politician also, okay? There are certain people of the Christian faith who join politics. There are certain people of the Sikh faith, of the Shiromani Akali Dal, for example, who are active in their religious faith but also have joined politics. But it is a remarkable thing, and this made me think about it, that I've never seen something like this happen before, okay? I've never seen that somebody is accusing somebody, let's say the head of the Vaishno Devi shrine or the head of the Ajmer Dargah, as I pointed out. It's never happened, okay? So let me get Rashmi Samant into this conversation. Rashmi ji, first I want you to comment on the fact that this almost never happens, that strangely this incident has brought into the limelight that there is some division of religion and politics in this country, that despite the polarization, actually we don't target the heads of religious institutions. It's not part of the political discourse. That itself, of course, is a conversation point.
Well, I think that there's been a sort of sense of political maturity in the Indian sort of political landscape for the past couple of decades. And it is something that we do not acknowledge. And the maturity has been that no politician goes after heads of different religious institutions. It's been an unspoken rule. And that sort of sense of maturity, that sort of unspoken rule has now been broken. So this is a sort of a precedence, and it sets stage for, off gloves sort of tactics to win elections. It in fact shows the kind of desperation I feel that Mamata Banerjee must be feeling in her state of West Bengal, owing to the sort of mounting pressures of a political landscape. But I feel like certain things are untouchable, and that this is something that she needs to unconditionally apologize for, and a statement that she needs to retract.
She's not,
the Ramakrishna
yeah, she's
Mission,
not retracting it, but she's saying, no, I didn't mean it. I just meant one specific individual. Has she done enough to sort of backpedal this one?
Well, I think, when politicians say stuff like, okay, I've been misinterpreted and so on and so forth, it's a lousy excuse at an apology, because politicians like to grandstand, and taking back statements is seen as a sign of, weakness. She's clearly said that there are some sadhus sitting in temples and, who are indulging in politics instead of doing their job. And I think in that way, she's also demeaning the role of spiritual leaders in our society. In times of absolute peril, they have led our society. The Bharat Sevashram Sangha that she mentions in, I think, one of her speeches. In fact, it's the very reason that West Bengal is an integral part of Bharat today. It's the very reason that the many refugees during the partition had a roof on their heads, and they were saved from absolute horror. The religious, the spiritual leaders, they've always stepped up in times of need, when society has been backed into a corner. And I think it's very demeaning for her to say that, oh, these pujaris must stick to these monks should stick to their mutts and should stick to their temples.
Okay.
No, spiritual leaders lead our society, and from the front, and they're bigger than politicians. And to say these things is to demean the very essence of the sacred
but this
land.
is, like I said, sometimes the exception proves the rule, right? Because this happened, then it made me think of this, and Manasvi, come in on this, because not an Asaduddin Owaisi, not an Omar Abdullah, okay, not the BJP, not the Congress, not the DMK, which is, has very caustic words to say about the Sanatan Dharma. No one actually goes after the head or an individual who is not actively in politics and is primarily in religious life. It's never happened. So what do you think has prompted Mamata Banerjee into this?
I think this was not a news until the Home Minister made a statement on Mamata Banerjee, and I think this became a news, and it became very viral only when the Home Minister made a statement on this, that Mamata Banerjee is against the Ramakrishna Mission and the sadhus of Ramakrishna Mission, and it gets that fire from that statement after that. And it was a statement, yes, statement was there of Mamata Banerjee, that some of the Ramakrishna Mission's sadhus have been working under the BJP. And then the Home Minister made that statement, and then it became quite viral, and the fire caught up with the statement. And I think this is a discourse which will see anything which is touching the Hindu sentiments or the Sanatan Dharma, touching, if the opposition tries to touch it, BJP is going to go heads on against them, and they are the pioneers. They've taken the trademark, and they've taken everything of Sanatan Dharma, though Sanatan Dharma is 10,000 year old and BJP is just a 40-year-old party. But somehow they have portrayed themselves in a way that they are the saviors of Sanatan Dharma, while I believe that Sanatan Dharma or Ramakrishna Paramhan's mission does not need any political party. It's more above any political party. So political parties need them. The idea is, who needs Ramakrishna Mission support, or who needs Sanatan Dharma support, because they are the largest vote banks. So it is easy to say all this. So it suits Mamata Banerjee's politics also, and it also suits BJP's politics also, because Mamata Banerjee want to cater to a vote bank which may not be...
I have two follow-up questions, Manasvi. One, of course, is that if, and yes, the BJP has gone to town on this. So you are saying that, listen, they are the ones stoking it up. But if the reverse had been true, okay, if somebody in the senior leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party had come out and said that this head of this masjid, or this Maulana, or this chief cleric of this masjid is actively campaigning against the BJP, what would a Mamata Banerjee what would she have done?
Opposition does not have this kind of a religious narrative which is as strong as BJP does have. So BJP's narrative and communication in terms of Hinduism and Sanatan Dharam, the narrative is much stronger than any political party with any particular alignment with religion. So there is that difference. So if no political party can pick up any religious head or any religion, the way BJP picks it up. So that's the difference of understanding. So the narrative is that BJP is a Hindu party and all other parties are non-Hindu. And now coming to only the arithmetics of the politics is the largest vote bank of this country is Hindus. So you have to be aligned to the Hindus vote bank. So and now it has come to a way that BJP is turning itself as the savior of Hindu Dharam, while other political parties are like they are the Rakshasas of Hindu Dharam. So which is I don't believe
okay. So where is the reasonable line? Because then there is the head of the Jama Masjid, for example, in Srinagar, who was the chairman of the All Parties Hurriyat Conference. Okay, he was a Mirwais. His name is Umar Farooq. Okay, Yogi Adityanath is the head of a mutt, but then became a member of parliament. There have been others as well. So where is the line? I mean, you can say that after some point, Baba Ramdev was no longer a yoga guru, but also became part politician, then part entrepreneur. Okay, so he simply can't say, "Listen, I'm just a yoga guru anymore." So where is the line where it's say, okay, now that you're a politician, it's fair game, versus, listen, you are a mutt leader and you might have a say, you might have a view, but then it's not fair game.
I feel it is acceptable. I think with the examples which you have given and the future example, till the voters are accepting any religious head as its constituency member and making it win, I don't think there is any issue with that. Constitution allows it, and I don't think there is any counter narrative to that. But I can be a sadhu and I can fight an election and people are giving me votes, so I can be a constitution post holder.
Okay.
So I don't think there is any differentiation on this. Earlier. During the Congress regime, yes, there was a clear-cut differentiation in which politicians were somehow in their idea of secularism, they did not promote any religious heads to be part of the politician. The narrative was not that strong from the Congress point of view. With the BJP coming into play, they are acceptable and they are okay with it. And more importantly, people are okay with it.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let me put. Let me put Rashmi, just one second. Let me put the same question, Rahulji. Rahulji, you want to make a point? Go ahead. Then I have a question.
Just one submission. See, the whole idea of religion and politics being two different poles is a Nehruvian idea. The freedom struggle was led by a person from ashram called Sabarmati Ashram. He was a sadhu, he was a saint who wore a politician garb called Mahatma Gandhi. The greatest Muslim leader was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, who was a holy Quran Pandit and a Maulana. They believed in pluralism, not Nehruvian secularism. They believed in harmony, coming together of all religions. Look at Ramakrishna Mission itself. One of the best Christmas celebrations in the whole of India happens in the Belur Mutt, where all the Hindu sadhus respect Mother Mary and Jesus Christ. This has been the tradition of India for a long time. And even in Kerala, entire Kerala was respectful of BJP President Sri Sridharan Pilla when he said Tangal family, or one of the leading Muslim family who is the leader of a political organization, he said we should have a certain kind of decorum and respect towards them and not attack them. You can attack the policies of Muslim League, but not of a spiritual family. That has been our legacy. That is the tradition. And the whole new age idea of India, the maker of the modern India, was Swami Vivekananda, where A.L. Basham rightly calls him one of the molders of the new century. He was a spiritualist. He was a sadhu, the monk really who rebranded India and rejuvenated India in a big way. So this whole artificial Nehruvian, with due respect to Nehruji, the pseudo-secular idea of secularism is the Nehruvian thought which Mahatma Gandhi didn't agree, which Maulana Azad didn't agree. He used the word Maulana Abul Kalam Azad till the end, towards the end of his life. So he was a Maulana, Gandhi was a Hindu saint, basically from Sabarmati Ashram. So this is a whole artificial divide.
Okay.
There also, people used to respect the religious figures. They may disagree with them, but not like Mamata Banerjee attacking a person, singling out a person, and that too a Ramakrishna Mission like a space shouldn't be dragged into our political debates.
Okay, so where is the line? Where is the line, Rahul Ishwar? Because then there are certain religious leaders who actively enter into politics. Okay, so then where is the line where you say, okay, this is no longer distasteful, this is part of the process?
See, just one submission. We may strongly disagree with one sadhu or a mullah or a maulana or a church leader, but we disagree with them on policy-wise, not personally. We don't abuse them on a personal way. Calling them, it is because you are a maulana, or it is because you are a sadhu, or it is because. See, our first freedom struggle, 1857, was jointly led by sadhus and fakirs. Even our freedom movement, in a big way, got impetus from the sadhu and fakir movement, who came together for this. So let us not have any artificial line. Let us respect every community. We shouldn't abuse any Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian or a Parsi or a Jain or a Jew or any person, especially religious head. We can disagree with their policies. Subhash Chandra Bose intensely disagreed with almost all of Mahatma Gandhi's policy, but yet called him the father of the nation. See, that should be the attitude.
Okay.
Gandhiji disagreed with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, but called him Prince of Patriots. They were very civil and respectful towards each other. Sardar Patel and Nehruji nearly disagreed on everything, but they were together in the cause of India. So disagree with all the, especially spiritual leader, politically or policy wise, but let us not disrespect them on a personal level,
Okay.
especially on a spiritual level.
I'm going to put the same question, Rashmi. Okay, Rashmi, where is the line then? Where is the line between religio leaders, socio-cultural leaders and politics?
Well, I think the line is very clear. I think the line comes with a debate on ideas vis-a-vis a personal attack on the institution itself, on the people itself that represent the institution. To single out monks like that, I think, is a very personal attack on the faith and on the institution that they represent, and not on the ideas they're espousing. So there is no reference whatsoever to what they're propagating and what they shouldn't. There is rather a blanket sort of hatred as to what they represent as a result of their political opinions. And I think that is very nauseating.
When you're saying
something
hatred,
that-
what do you mean? Is it frustration because you began with that conversation that is probably sparking of frustration? Or when you say hatred, I mean, isn't that a leap of imagination to say Mamata Banerjee doesn't like monks?
Well, I think it is the personal attack that she's making clearly, indicates that there is some kind of, fundamental disassociation with what they represent, because she's not making any efforts to, address the issue that they are bringing to the table or something that they represent in terms of their ideas. Rather, she's just saying that monks are supposed to be in temples and, they're supporting a political ideology. That's a personal direct attack. I mean, I don't think that is something that is very reasonable to be doing as a politician. I think she needs to acknowledge the sort of contributions
Okay.
that monks have made to society in general.
Okay.
And trying to blame
Yes.
monks for their role in society is not.
So let's then Manasvi, let's discuss the hard politics. Whether Mamata Banerjee did a faux pas, whether the BJP trapped her in the situation and then made the most of it. In the brass tacks, in this particular episode, okay, where Mamata Banerjee is having to backpedal and explain herself and justify herself, has she lost the political momentum in this particular episode?
I think these things, BJP has a very strong end and hand, and they play at the front pitch of it, and you should not touch it. The moment you touch it, BJP will come back to you. You wear a janeeu, you speak about Hindu religion, be it in the good way or the bad way or neutral way, you should not touch about it. You should talk about the developmental projects, because there is where you can counter BJP. But as soon as you try to bring religion and politics into play with the present BJP regime into power, you can't win over them, because they're very strong in the narrative setting, they're very strong in the IT and the social media setting of it, and wherein suddenly it would be portrayed in the day of today that Mamata Banerjee is against Ramakrishna Mission. So suddenly she would be anti-Hindu, suddenly she would be anti-Bengal, suddenly she would be anti-Vivekanand. So this whole narrative will only help the BJP, and it will be giving a negative side to the Mamata Banerjee's politics. So you should not touch, not that these are not topics or these should not be discussed, because BJP has a very strong end towards defending and creating a narrative which suits them. So they have a strong edge on it. You have to understand it. If you're fighting BJP, you have to understand the psyche of BJP also. Since 10 years, you have been on the losing end of it, and their major play has been that you make a mistake, you make a goof up, and then we build upon on that. And they don't even take seconds out of it. They take milliseconds and they just turn around the situation. So this is something which politicians and opposition should understand.
Okay.
Things like this on Sanatan Dharam and Hindu Dharam, don't talk about it. Talk about development fundamental projects where BJP may not have answers on it, but if you bring religion into play and you are going to lose.
Okay, all right.
Sure.
Okay, so Rashmi, has this become an issue then? Okay, whether some people will think no, the BJP has crafted an issue out of this. Others will say no, it's these leaders who themselves go out of their way to be holier than thou when it comes to one community and a little bit disparaging when it comes to their own community of their native faith. But has it become an issue? Has Hinduism become an issue?
Well, I think religion has become an issue, and there's clearly been hypocrisy in ways and means in which one particular faith has been respected by a section of political parties and the other has been disrespected by the same section. So I think it has inadvertently become an issue. And I think these aspects need to be addressed from the perspective of a common person. How does a common person view it? A common person will take the statement of Mamata Banerjee as a disrespect to what the entire institution represents and has done for society on an active basis. So I think it is a really bad scenario, and if the BJP is finally coming to the defense of Ramakrishna Mission, then it is expected, the community does expect a political party to defend it, not just on its borders, but also within borders, and everything that it believes in, from a spiritual to a philosophical level. And if there's a party that's doing it, and if there's a party which is actively against
there is
that,
a legitimate interest in this country, a legitimate interest that Hindus should not have to be apologetic about living in their own land.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a legitimate issue. So let me get Rahul Ishwar into this. Rahul Ishwar, we can blame the BJP for genius or political machinations, but there are certain choices for the opposition parties. It's a choice by all of them that none of us will go to the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. Forget on 22nd of January, for 4 months, none of us will go. We will make minority quotas a part of our manifesto. That you can't say the BJP plotted this. So, have the opposition parties who themselves, I remember the Antony Commission report came out 10 years ago, which precisely said that this is the problem that happened in 2014. Are they also then guilty of, perpetuating it, not just the BJP?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. See, this is the pseudo-secular attitude they have. I had the great privilege to be at the Prana Pratishtha. I also went to the holy Dhanipur mosque, met our Muslim brothers there. But the Congress has been playing this pseudo-secular politics. See, when A. Raja says, Sanatana Dharma, I cannot even repeat those words, Sanatana Dharma, or abuses Hindu Dharma, Rahul Gandhi ji, who says so-called Janayudhari Brahman, doesn't even stand up and say, I disagree with it. No, we should give Mamata Banerjee at least one say, she said she disagrees with it. See, when such abuses are heard at Hindu community, people, there are not even politicians on the Congress side or the left liberal side who will stand and say this is wrong in a very forceful way. So BJP will naturally, being a right of the center Hindu community oriented party, they should guard. Who else is supposed to guard against them? See, when they had Mahatma Gandhi been alive, Sardar Patel had been alive, Madan Mohan Malaviya had been alive, they would have for sure stood for Hindu interests. But that particular space of Hindu community is lost, from the Congress space or the left liberal space. They have become that pseudo-secular attitude, and that pseudo-secular attitude won't get them anywhere. Madan Mohan Malaviya ji was the president of Congress. Mahatma Gandhi was the president of Congress. Madan Mohan Malaviya was also the president of Hindu Mahasabha. So that line they have lost. And Modi ji is rightfully taking that center-right line in a very meaningful way. And he should guard Hindu interests. If Prime Minister of the largest Hindu-populated nation in the world is not guarding Hindu interests, who else will guard the Hindu interests? So definitely, but not at the cost of anyone else. Everyone should be there, but hum Hindu hai,
So
hum sabke saath rahenge.
I'm going to leave you with this thought. Now, it might be that the BJP has cleverly trapped Mamata Banerjee over a misstatement or over an awkward statement. It might be. Politics is about that. But the larger premise is this. Number one, think about it. This is the first time we are having in this election cycle, and to my living memory, this kind of a problem. Okay? Very few people do this on all sides. Number two, when we make willful decisions, when Rahul Gandhi comes out and says, all these guys shouting Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, he can't say, will never say, all these guys shouting Allah Akbar, all these people saying Sat Sri Akal. Those are perfectly legitimate things, just like shouting Jai Shri Ram is perfectly legitimate. Some people say Ram Ram as a form of greeting. It's perfectly legitimate. So there are certain things that even the opposition parties do that they willfully enter into, that they can't blame that the BJP foists this on us. you can understand that on 22nd January, you don't want to be at the Ram temple because Narendra Modi and the cameras are focused on him. But you can go on 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, that you don't go for 3 months. People like Uddhav Thackeray, whose father, took up the entire cause of Ram temple more aggressively than the Bharatiya Janata Party, did not go. That's also equally politics. So the good thing, ladies and gentlemen, is this happens very rarely. The bad thing, it has happened. What has happened in the good and bad of it, we'll let you judge. I thank my guest.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.